Hello, wonderful friends. We are working on the 3.2 notes in this video, combining like terms. So we've gone over vocab, so we're just going to practice using those things. So make sure that you have your packet open to 3.2. If you don't, pause and do that now. Okay. So combining like terms, we're going to start some equation stuff, which is super fun. Okay, so we're going to say I can combine like terms. That's the only I can statement I can fit in that line. So we're going to combine like terms. We're going to figure out, we're going to identify the like terms. We practiced that last time. So now we're going to actually add and subtract them. So what that means is to simplify expressions like the ones we have down here, we can make those a little bit easier. We can add and subtract. We can multiply and divide. The coefficients of like terms. Okay, so remember that coefficient is the number that's multiplying a variable, so we can add those together. So what that looks like is we have 3x plus 2x. Okay, let's kind of draw it first. So if I had 3 x's, 1, 2, 3, and I added 2 more x's, 1, 2, I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total x's, and we write that as 5x. You can also see that I have my coefficients. 3 plus 2 makes 5, so I'm just adding 3 plus 2. Okay, if I had 8y minus 11y, we're going to take our coefficients and subtract them. So 8 minus 11. Okay, this is 8, same as 8 plus negative 11. Same signs, add the numbers, different signs, subtract. So one's positive, one's negative. We're going to take 11 minus 8 and get 3. Then we keep the sign of the bigger number. 11 is bigger and negative, so this is going to be negative 3. Negative 3y. Okay, so you just take the coefficient and add or subtract them together based on what operation is in between them. We can also just multiply. So I have 1/2 a times negative 6. So I'm going to take my coefficient of 1/2 and multiply it by negative 6. So I'll just do that on the side. Okay, we multiply across. 1 times 6 is 6. 2 times 1 is 2. It's a positive times a negative, so our answer is negative 6 over 2. And remember that the fraction bars mean divide. So negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3a. So all we did was we took the coefficients, the number in front of the variable, and added them together. Okay? So sometimes it might be helpful to group them first, right? Like down here I have x minus 3 plus 7x. Those are kind of separated. So if I group them, it might be a little bit easier. Okay, so we have x and then plus a 7x, then a minus 3. And remember that constants, so when we're just adding or subtracting just a number without a variable, that will be like terms with other constants. Okay? So now, these both have an x, so I can add them. this x has an invisible 1 in front of it. And I want to draw it for you again. So let's say I have 1x. So 1. And I add 7 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total x's. So I'm going to represent that with 8x. And then minus 3, there's no other number without a variable, so we're just going to tack it on at the end. So this is 8x minus 3. Okay. All right, now we have 9a plus 12 plus a minus 4b. So I'm going to highlight the a's because those are going to go together. Plus 12 is just the 12, nothing else matches it. Then we have a minus 4b. And it's really important that when you're rearranging them, this minus belongs to that 4. Okay? So I can't just move them. Whatever's in front of it goes with it. So let's rearrange the a's together. 9a plus a. Then I like to go in letter order. That is what mathematicians do. We put them in letter order. So then I have minus 4b. And then we put constants by themselves at the end. So I do plus 12 at the end. Okay, now I'm going to combine what I can. 9a plus 1a. 9 plus 1 is 10. There's no other b's, so he's going to stay the same. There's no other constants, so it's going to stay the same. So 10a minus 4b plus 12. Okay. So now we have negative 8n minus m plus 10 plus 6m minus n. So I'm just going to highlight my ones that are the same. This one has an n. Here's an n. This one has an m. This one has a plus 6m. Then plus 10 is just hanging out by itself. Okay, so starting with the m's, I have negative m. Then plus 6m. Minus 8n minus n plus 10. Okay. So remember, a negative m is going to be a negative 1m. So here we have negative 1 plus 6. You don't have to write this part down. Okay, those are different signs, so we subtract. So 6 minus 1 is 5. 6 is bigger and positive, so this is going to be positive 5m. And here we have negative 8 minus 1n, so negative 8 minus 1. Okay, if we change it to addition, it becomes negative 8 plus negative 1. 8 plus 1 is 9, and it's going to stay negative since they're both negative, so it's going to be negative 9n. So minus 9n. And then the 10, just hanging out by itself. There's no other numbers without a variable to combine it with. Okay, so here I don't see any like terms. So even though x and 3x squared both have x's, the other one has an exponent, so it's not actually the same. So I'm just going to rearrange them in letter order, and we start with, if it has an exponent, the biggest number in the exponent. So we're going to do 3x squared plus x minus y plus w. So just like some fun little tidbits. don't worry, you don't have to do that one as much. So, to summarize, to simplify expressions and combine like terms, we add or subtract the coefficients, so the number that's multiplying the variable. So like here I had negative 8n minus n. I did negative 8 plus negative 1 was negative 9n. So your 3.2 practice, you are just going to combine like terms. So first identify the like terms. And then you're going to add or subtract their coefficients. And I might do, I'll do this one on level 2 with you real quick. Just because it's got a couple negatives. Maybe it's been a minute since we've dealt with those. So I'm going to identify my like terms. Make sure you're doing this one. It's on level 2, right? Free problem. No reason to not get it correct when I'm doing it for you. Okay? So first thing I see is I have this minus and negative, and I think I want to change that first. Okay, so remember if we keep, change, subtracting a negative is the same as adding a positive. So we change to addition, and then the negative 8b becomes a positive 8b. So that makes it a little easier for me to look at. So now I'm going to identify all the like terms. 17.6 has a b, plus 8, minus 15. So I'm just going to do my work on the bottom or on the side. Okay. So we're going to start with 17.6 plus 8 okay, and we get 25.6b. Then we have to subtract a 15b, so 25.6 minus 15. So we have 10.6b. And then this plus 12.1, oops, doesn't have any other just plain numbers without a variable. So we're just going to tack them on the end, plus 12.1. That's it. So if you see stuff like that, use your addition rules or subtraction rules, whatever. Kind of deal with those first, and then add or subtract the coefficients. All right, you got this. Good luck.